Hey, what's up everybody? Moto Weasel here, and today we're talking about something a lot of riders are looking for right now, especially a lot of the newer, younger riders. How do you find a good used chopper on Facebook Marketplace without getting scammed, without buying somebody else's nightmare, and without spending new bike money on a half-finished garage project? Because here's the truth, cheap choppers still exist, but they're not sitting with perfect pictures, perfect descriptions, clean titles, and sellers who know exactly what they have. The good deals are usually buried under bad listings, terrible photos, misspelled titles, unfinished projects, and dudes saying things like ran when parked, and that sentence right there should make your wallet nervous. But if you know what to look for, Facebook Marketplace can still be one of the best places to find a cheap chopper, bobber, or custom bike that somebody else gave up on. You just have to know the difference between a deal and a disaster. So first things first, guys, stop searching like everybody else. If you go on Marketplace and just type in chopper, you're going to see some overpriced stuff everybody else is seeing. The guy with the rusty Sportster asking 10 grand because he put 8 hangers on it. The hardtail project that's been sitting in somebody's shed since 2014. The custom build that somehow has no title, no wiring, no seat, and no brakes. Seen that. So instead of only searching chopper, search around the bike. Use terms like Sportster project, hardtail, bobber, custom motorcycle, Honda Shadow bobber, Yamaha XS 650, Ironhead, Evo Sportster, rigid frame, motorcycle project, and even misspellings. I'm serious, guys. Search chopper, C-H-O-P-E-R with 1 P. Search bobber project, search old Harley, search custom bike. A lot of the best deals come from people who don't know the exact category their bike fits into. They're not trying to maximize keywords. They're just trying to get the thing out of the garage. They're not trying to maximize keywords. They're just trying to get the thing out of the garage. That's where you can find the opportunity. Now, before you even message the seller, guys, look at the listing like an investigator, not like an excited writer. Excitement is what's going to get you burned. Look at the pictures. Are there clear pictures of both sides of the bike? Is there a picture of the VIN area? Is there a picture of the title? Is the bike complete? Are the controls there? Does it have a chain or belt? Does the wiring look finished, or does it look like a rat's nest under the seat? Does the seller show the engine, the frame, tires, brakes, front end? Because if the listing only has 3 blurry photos taken at night from across the driveway, that's not automatically a no, but it does mean you need to slow down a little bit. Sometimes bad pictures mean bad seller. Sometimes bad pictures mean good deal. You have to figure out which one it is. Now, let's talk about the biggest thing, guys, the title. I don't care how cool the bike looks. I don't care if it has the perfect stance. I don't care if the pipes are nasty, the tank is perfect, and the price is cheap. No title is a problem. Could you fix it? Maybe. Should you make that your problem? Probably not, especially if you're new to buying used bikes or custom bikes. A cheap chopper with no title can turn into expensive yard art real quick. So before you drive 2 hours with cash in your pocket, ask the seller, do you have a clean title in your name? Not, does it have paperwork? Not, can it be titled? Not, your buddy has a title. Ask clearly, is the title clean and is it in your name? If the answer is weird, slow down, guys. If they say bill of sale only, you need to understand your state's rules before you even consider it. If they say I've never got around to transferring it, that's a huge red flag right there, guys. If they say lost title, easy fix. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. But don't let somebody else's paperwork problem become your expensive lesson. Next thing I want to talk about is, know what kind of cheap chopper you're actually looking for, because cheap chopper can mean a few different things. Cheap Sportster chop is usually one of the safer bets. Parts are everywhere. Engines are common. Aftermarket support is huge. You can find tanks, bars, seats, controls, frames, wheels, basically everything. A Honda Shadow bobber can also be a good budget move. They're not as traditional as a Harley chop, but they can be reliable, cheap, and definitely easy to find. And then of course you got the Yamaha XS 650s. They're cool, but prices have gone up on those, and some of them have been hacked up pretty badly, guys, so keep that in mind. Ironheads have character, but they can also test your patience, your wallet, and your relationship. Believe me, I can tell you that from experience. Some of the old British stuff is cool, but if you're trying to ride cheap, you better know what you're getting into. So if your goal is to actually ride and not spend the next 3 years chasing electrical gremlins, I would say start with something that has parts, support. Cheap is not the purchase price, guys. Cheap is also what it costs to fix, maintain, and actually put miles on. Now here's where people mess up. They see a bike for $2,500 and think, wow, that's cheap. but it needs tires, it needs a battery, it needs a chain, it needs fork seals, it needs brakes, it doesn't run, the wiring is questionable, the carb needs clean, the tank is rusty. Guys, suddenly that $2,500 bike turns into a $4,500 bike real quick. So before you make an offer, mentally add up what it needs. 2 tires, that's money. Battery, money. Fluids, money. Brake pad lines, money. Carb rebuild, money. Registration and title fees, money. Trailer rental, money. Now, I'm not saying don't buy a project. I love project bikes, guys, but don't pay finished bike money for project bike problems. That's the key here. If it needs work, the price needs to reflect that work. When you message the seller, don't sound desperate. Don't send, is this available? Everybody sends that. Send something simple and serious. Say, hey, I'm interested in the bike. Is the title clean and in your name? Does it run, ride, stop, and charge like it should? That right there, that one message tells you a lot. Run, ride, stop, charge. Those are the 4 big right there. Those are the big 4, guys. So if it starts but doesn't ride, that's a project. If it rides but doesn't stop, that's dangerous. If it runs but doesn't charge, you may be chasing electrical problems. That's just something to keep in mind. If it just needs a battery, ask why the seller didn't put a battery in it, because a lot of bikes that just need a battery actually need a battery, carb work, wiring repair, and a prayer. Another thing to keep in mind. Now let's say the seller responds and everything sounds decent. Before you go look at it, ask for the cold start video, not a video of the bike already warmed up in cold start. You want to hear how it starts when it hasn't been running. Does it crank slow? Does it smoke? Does it knock? Does it idle? Does the seller have to keep revving it to keep it alive? Cold start video won't tell you everything, but it can save you from wasting a whole afternoon and a long drive. And if the seller refuses to send one, that doesn't always mean it's a scam, but it does mean you should probably be careful. When you go see the bike, don't show up alone if you can avoid it. Bring somebody who knows motorcycles. That's a huge lesson right there. Definitely bring a flashlight, bring cash. Don't flash it. Don't let the seller rush you. Start with the paperwork. A VIN on the title needs to match the VIN on the bike. Look for weird grinding, altered numbers, missing VIN plates, or anything that just feels off. If the paperwork doesn't check out, I don't care how good the bike sounds, guys, walk away. Then look at the bike cold. Touch the engine carefully before it starts. If the seller says it's cold, but the engine is already warm, it may start it before you got there because it has cold start issues. Again, look at the tires, look at the chain, look at the brakes, check for oil leaks, look at the wiring, turn the bars left and right, make sure the cables don't bend, check the throttle snaps back, check the lights, check the brake light, check the clutch fill. You're not trying to be annoying. You're trying to avoid buying a rolling problem, guys. Now, on custom choppers, definitely pay close attention to frame and fabrication. This is another big one, guys. A lot of people can bolt on parts. Not everybody can weld, and I'm one of them. Look at the hardtail section, if it has one. Look at the neck area. Look at the motor mounts. Look for cracked welds, ugly welds, strange repairs, or anything that looks like it was done in a hurry after midnight with a discount welder. A rough-looking bike can still be solid, but bad fabrication is not something that you want to ignore, guys. Paint can hide a lot, so look closely. If something feels sketchy, trust that feeling. Trust that gut feeling in your stomach. Now, let's talk about price, because the best deals usually come from 3 situations. 1, the seller lost interest. 2, the seller needs space. 3, the seller needs money fast. I see that a lot. You're not trying to take advantage of anybody, but you're trying to pay the real value of the bike. So be respectful. Don't be afraid to negotiate. Point to real issues. Don't insult the bike. Say something like, I like it, but with the tires, battery, and wiring cleaned up it needs, I'd be comfortable at this price. That's a lot better than saying what's your lowest. Nobody likes that guy. Bring a fair cash offer. Be ready to walk away. That's the most powerful negotiating tool you have, guys, because the second you convince yourself that this is the one, well, you're probably going to overpay and there'll always be another bike. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but there will be another one. So here's my rule of thumb. A good should have good bones. Clean title, a solid frame, decent engine, parts availability, no major mystery. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect paint. It doesn't need expensive parts. It doesn't need to be Instagram ready. Shit, in fact, sometimes the uglier ones are the best deals because you can fix ugly. You can clean, you can paint, you can change bars, seats, tanks, pipes, and lights, but a bad title, bad frame, or a bad engine can bury you quickly. Buy the bones, not the glitter. That's a big one to keep in mind, guys. Buy the bones, not the glitter. Also, guys, don't ignore bikes that are close but not exactly what you want. Maybe it's not a finished chopper yet. Maybe it's a stock Sportster with ugly bags and a windshield. Maybe it's a Shadow that some guy started bobbing but never finished. Hell, maybe it's a running bike with bad cosmetics. Those can be better buys than somebody's finished custom bike. Because when someone says custom, they usually want custom money. But when someone says project, there may be room to negotiate. You get that wiggle room. So a stock running bike can sometimes be a better starting point than a half-built chopper, at least you know what you're starting with. And one more thing, guys, by all means, be patient. The worst time to buy is when you feel like you have to buy today. Don't rush yourself. Save searches. Check every morning. Check late at night. Expand your radius. Look at listings with bad pictures. Look at listings with weak descriptions. Message quickly when something good pops up. Good deals don't sit forever, but don't let speed replace judgment. Fast is good, but careless is expensive. So you can still find a good used chopper on Facebook Marketplace for cheap. So can you still find a good used chopper on Facebook Marketplace for cheap? Yes, you can. Absolutely. But you need to shop smarter than the next guy. Search better. Make sure you ask better questions. Verify the title. I cannot stress that enough, guys. Verify the title. Know the common platforms. Understand what repairs really cost. Look past ugly paint. Avoid sketchy paperwork. And remember this, the cheapest bike is not always the best deal. The best deal is the bike you can afford, fix, ride, and actually enjoy it without it bleeding you dry, because the whole point of a chopper is freedom. Vroom, vroom. Am I right? No sitting in the garage broke, mad, and surrounded by parts you didn't even know you needed. So keep your eyes open, keep your standards sharp, and don't fall in love with the listing before you've seen the bike. I made that mistake. That's how you find the cheap ones, and that's how you avoid getting burned. And also, that's how you get yourself on a good used chopper without paying rich guy prices. If you've ever found a killer deal on Marketplace, drop in the comments, guys. And if you've ever bought a total nightmare, definitely drop that too, because somebody needs to learn from your lesson. And as always, guys, ride safe, wrench smart, and I'll see you in the next one.